In this video, I wanna talk about designing a character. I think most anime and manga lovers have already created at least one original character, with or without a backstory. I did it so many times and I still love to do it. To see how a figure gets a personality, a face and a backstory is really exciting. But there are also a lot of parts which are really important, especially when you are planning to write a story. But for the beginning, we just start with a look of the different characters and I will show you how I bring my base to life. At this point, hi, I'm Njana, a manga artist, and on this channel I wanna take you with me while I'm working on my own manga, talk about how to draw manga and how you can create a story. But first of all, we talk about the basics, and in the second half of this video, I show you some of my designs. You can find the timestamps in the info box or in the comments. So let's go! Let's start with the basic shape of the head. In general, I use a circle as my basement and then I add the lower jaw. So I get the standard shape of the head. Next I draw the neck and the shoulders. There are several variations of this approach, so I recommend experimenting with the different techniques which suits you the most. This is something that I learned in the last few years when I watched a lot of tutorials and none of the techniques helped me to improve my art. Actually, it's so obvious when you think about it. Being conscious that not every technique works for yourself is something entirely different. I tried different methods to draw faces and bodies, but the most I tried to force myself to think this is how it has to work now, the less it worked. What a surprise! And my frustration grew with every new failure. Someday I started to accept my own style and to like how it looks. And from this moment I finally saw a development. I've also stopped comparing myself to other artists and paying attention to how quickly they are making progresses and just focus on myself. I've now got over my perfectionism. Whilst I still stick to certain standards that I set for myself, I've taken a lot of pressure off and really enjoy drawing and creating. I already worked a couple of years on my style, and while I'm drawing here the faces and the bodies, I already decided which characters I wanna draw in the second half. The poses are already based on the characters, or rather, I match the characters to the poses. Generally speaking, there are many different stereotypical character types. I like to use them as a starting point or a guide, but I prefer to create more complex characters rather than just sticking to the standard ones. Perhaps it's also well known that certain hair colors or eye shapes are associated with particular personalities. Lively and boisterous characters tend to have wild hair and styles, whilst calm personalities tend to look more put together, have straight hair and usually have black or dark hair colors. Just as an example, there are various ways of interpreting these colors. Spontaneously, Ichigo Kurosaki from Bleach and Uryu Ishida coming to my mind when I'm thinking about this example. And perhaps things have changed since then. At least that's how it was when I'm growing up. Obviously, I don't like fitting into these stereotypes, and I think it's also good to just use it as a base and just create what you like. So I'm drawing here two characters of my manga insights. The female one is Mami, a character that I really hated at the beginning, and now I love her so much. And the second one is Nanami, a soldier who was a dishonorable discharged. I'm using the basement from the beginning of this video to bring them to life and give them their personalities. Don't forget, this is just a base. You can change what you want when something doesn't fit the character. Mami is a really rough and straight person. When she doesn't like you, you will notice it. That's the reason why she always looks annoyed or disgusted. Nanami, on the other hand, is an exemplary soldier with his heart in the right place and a strong protective instinct. He's calm and grounded, but can be different when necessary. Usually I would draw the main characters of my story, but to be honest, I drew them a lot in the past, so today I was in the mood for these both characters. They are also important for the story and support my main character Aoi a lot. When you are designing a character, the first draft is rarely the final result. Don't forget to try different styles, haircuts and clothes, and the most important thing is to work on their personality. In general, you design your character for the story once you have decided what sort of personality the character should have. If you are interested in such a video, how to create a character profile, let me know in the comments. In the end, the most important thing is have fun. The process can be so enjoyable and exciting to write the backstory and the past of the character, so don't stress yourself. At the beginning, when I designed Nanami as example, he was just a soldier. But after I wrote about his childhood and the turning points in his life, he became a complete own personality. In my view, this is fundamentally important for characters to gain depth and making them seem authentic. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you next time. Bye bye!